Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome back to yet another episode of the Microsoft C# XNA game programming thingamajigger, where we're making Pong. Yay! So today's episode should be a rather short episode, as today we are adding a sprite font, which means we're going to be able to actually write stuff on the screen like the score and stuff. It's gonna be really cool. But it shouldn't take too long, so I have a nice short episode for you this week. Let's go get on doing it. Let's go make a sprite font. Yay! Alrighty, so let's get on to making that sprite font stuff that we've been talking about. So to add a sprite font, come up here to your content, right click, go to add, and add a new item. And you see a sprite font right here. You just click that and call whatever you want. I don't really care what it's called. And then you click add, and you get this new tab and everything. And it looks all weird. Like, that's not C. I don't know what that is. And let's see. XML apparently. Well, anyway, in here, this font name, you just put the name of the font that you want to use. I'm going to use Garamond. Dog. This is the size of your font, how tall you want each letter to be in pixels. 14 is pretty small. I'm going to put it at 25 for now. That's just a starting spot, though. We can always go back and change it. This here is your spacing. This is how many pixels you want between each of your letters. I don't usually make this any higher than 0 because it just takes up more room, but it'll spread your words out more. So just keep it in mind as a possibility. What is at my door? Anyway, this use kerning here. I have no clue what this is. The description of it up here doesn't help me any. If you guys know what use kerning means, please leave it in the comments, because I don't know and I'm confused. This style, down here we get style. This you just put if you want regular or bold or italic. Personally, I like italic, so I'm gonna go ahead and make it italic. Just because I think it looks pretty in the game. You don't have to. I like it that way. And there's another thing down here. If you uncomment it, is this default character. Since it is commented, I assume it's not that important. But I also don't know what this does. So if you guys happen to know, please leave in comments. But even without knowing that, this will still work as is. So I'm going to save that. Now we go back to our game, and to use sprites, or to use our font, sprite font, first we have to load our sprite font. So go in here, sprite font. Just going to call that font. We're also going to need a few vector 2s. Now a vector 2 is a lot like our rectangle. Only whereas the rectangle held position as well as width and height, the vector 2 will only hold the position or the width and height. It holds 2 numbers. So I guess that means that if you wanted to, you could switch out the rectangles for vector 2s, but then you wouldn't get the nice rectangle to use in collision. So it's not that. Just stick with the rectangles for the sprites, and we'll use vector 2s for our stuff. Anyway, so we're gonna need 4 lines of sprite stuff, and we need 2 with the width and height. So we're gonna need, let's do score 1 place. And then do a score 2 place, and we're gonna let's do player 1 place. Place and player 2 place. I shouldn't have capitalized that. And we're also going to need to know how wide these player 1 and player 2 things are. You'll see why in a second. So we're just going to do player 1 size and player 2 size. So you guys may be wondering why I'm using player instead of stickman like we've been using for so long here. Really the only reason is because I'm tired of typing stickman and I want a bit of difference in it. Really, you can name them whatever you want, it doesn't matter. And then we're also going to need a few string variables. Now a string works just like our other variables, only instead of an int which holds a number or a yes or no statement like with Boolean, the string holds words or letters. So what we can do here is we just do let's just be consistent, as is player 1, because apparently it's consistency. I'm terrible at being consistent. Anyway, so we're just going to name this, let's do player 1's score, and then we'll keep that as a string, and then player 2 equals player 2's score. And now we have the two strings that we're going to write. So we have all the variables that we need. Now let's go down to our load content. Go down here to the bottom and we load content. Font equals content dot load, and we load a sprite font which is called sprite font 1. Copy and paste. Yay for copy and paste. Wow, that's thank you. So now that we've loaded our font, now we don't need to do anything in the unload or in the update. So now we come down here to the bottom to our game time. So now to draw a sprite font word thingy, I don't know what they're called. To draw a string, let's just say that. You do a sprite batch dot draw string, and do that. You type in for your arguments. We have font, which font you're going to use. The text this is going to write. My voice just cracked. So player 2, which as we remember is a string variable, so it's going to type out whatever player 2 is called. The vector 2 position, so we're going to do player 2 place, and then what color you want your letters to be. I want red letters. I'll make red letters. Also, while I was looking up how to do this, I figured out what the color up here does. This will tint whatever your sprites are a certain color. So if you make it color white, it's the same color as the picture, but if you make it like color blue, it'll make it look like they're under a blue light or something. It's actually kind of cool. I just don't know what I'd do with it yet. But now if we start up the game, you'll notice up here in the top we get player 2's score over here. Only it's missing the little colon at the end. Oh well, that's not a big deal. But since our vector isn't set up, it's stuck up here in the corner, and all of the other ones that if we call all of our other stuff that we're going to need, then they're both going to be stuck in the corner. Because, so you just copy and paste this down here, and we do player 1, because we're going to need both of those, and they're both stuck in the corner, overlapping each other. It's just, that's not pretty. Not pretty at all. So to get over that, come over here. Since we didn't call what our vectors meant in the beginning of this, we can call them down here. So you do player 2 place equals new vector 2. It's just like calling a new rectangle, only here we can reference the rectangle from above since it's below where we called the rectangle. Wrong kind of rectangle. We want Stickman. Let's just delete that. Stickman 2's rectangle. So Stickman, let's just Stickman 1 rectangle dot x, and then say on the z we want 10. So now if we do that and we load now, since we changed that a little, one of our things are going to be lower. See? Actually, they're both lower. Why are they both lower? Ah, player 1 place. Haha. So now see, one of them's lower than the other because we moved it. Now we just do the same thing to the other one, and we do this, and we go copy and paste. Copy and no, don't move that. And paste. And then we just make this Stickman 2, and then player. That's backwards. This one should be 2, and this one should be 1. And now we start the game up. Something wrong here. Do 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 do. What's wrong here? Aha! Player 1 place. Now we change that. And now see, 1's over here, but it's over here all weird like. We don't want it like that. We want it visible. So what we can do there is above these do something called we have to make a new variable. We'll just call an int down here because it's not that important. So int, call this, let's call it player 1 length or player 1 size. Wait a second, we already did this. Never mind the int. Player 1 size equals font nt dot measure string, and then we put the variable in here of what string we want it to measure. And what this is going to do is it measures how wide the string player 1 is and how tall it is, and puts it in our player 1 size, what's it called? Vector. So now we can come down here to which one was, let's see, player 2 is the one that's off. So now we just come over here and do minus player 2 size, which we need to do the same thing for this, so copy and paste, copy and paste. Just make that player 2 and player 2. Now I get player 2 size dot x, and now when we load that, see, it's moved over here by the exact same length as the score, or as the string. So that's really useful. That's I like that. It's fancy. It's fancy. So now we got to actually draw our scores, the scores and whatnot. So let's set up our vectors for the scores. For the score vector equals new vector 2. And for this, we can do it based off these vectors. So we can do what's it called? I am derping, I'm very, very derping. Duh, it's player. I'm special. I'm special. So now it's player one place dot x, and it's in the same spot. Only it's in the same spot as player one place, but we don't want it in the same spot, so we can do plus our player one size dot x, and then 10 because we want consistent numbers. And then we do the same thing for score 2 place equals a new vector, and that is player 2 place dot x plus player 2 size dot x, then comma 10. So now these should be put right after the strings of player 1 and player 2. I really should rename those. Those are very misleading names. Anyway, to do that, now we come down here to our sprite batch. Do a sprite batch dot draw string. Only this time you notice we didn't save the scores as strings. So that's how are we going to get our score to a string? Well, luckily XNA, I'm not sure if it's XNA or it's just something inherent to C, but it has this really convenient thing. So we can do stickman one score dot to string. So just type in to string, and then you put open close parentheses, and then just close it off like standard. So score 1 place, and then color dot red, and then we do the same thing, just move down and do a sprite batch dot draw string, and call our font, call a stickman to score, to score dot to string, open close parenthesis, score 2 place, and then color dot red. And now when we open this up, what are you doing? Wait. Oh, gotta close that off with parenthesis and semicolon. Now if you run this, now we have both our scores over here, and you notice it updates. So watch this. So that's a 1 now, and now that's 2. Isn't that cool? So it's updating the score as we play. Yeah, that's cool. But now they're really close together, kind of hard to see what the difference is. So what we can do here, just go up to these places, and then let's do just plus 10. Plus 10, and this will move it over 10 from our spot, as you may have guessed. And now they're in nice readable places. No, that's bugging me. It's bugging me. I'm gonna go up to the top, and there we go. Fix that. So now we have our strings all written out, and you can see now it's keeping track of the score in a way that we can see visually, which is really cool. Feel free to play around with all the stuff in the settings. You can set it up to be whatever you want. This is just what I think looks pretty. That's about it, guys. So that's all there is to this. I'm just gonna let that sit there and run for a while. So new thing, guys, is I set up a Twitter and whatnot. So if you guys want to get a hold of me, feel free to do that over Google Plus or Twitter or GitHub. Actually, I think I'd prefer GitHub. Yes, like I said before, all these projects are on GitHub if you want to look it up, as well as other projects that I am working on. If you want to help work on those or just check out what I'm doing, feel free to check me out. All of this stuff for that is over on the channel page. I'd tell you guys here, but I'd probably forget it. I'm actually working on an end card, so hopefully it'll have that there. Anyway, that's about it. Don't forget to do all the stuff like subscribing and liking. You know the drill. After every video, just do all that stuff that everyone nags you to do. So, that's how you add a sprite font, everyone. I guess I'll see you later. Bye. 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 The cool music. Okay, bye.